On this road-ready rendition of UTR, we bring you our first ever RV adventure. First, we head north to Seashell City. Be careful how you say it. Then we hit the UP for some smoky fish, big burgers, a lost city, and a righteous restaurant. Heck, we even wander through Wisconsin and take a big boat back. Get ready to find out why RVing is a great way to see Michigan.
Support for Under the Radar provided by the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, dedicated to shared economic success. MEDC promotes the state's assets and opportunities that support business investment, job growth, and community vitality.
As we cross a bridge known as the Mighty Mac, we find it. Something the Ojibwa call Gajige. We know it as timeless. A land that says, slow down, listen to my stories, hear my songs. Timeless can be as big as the sunset on a great lake, or as endless as the stars that watch over us. Welcome to Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Welcome to the purest of pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
Additional support provided by the Michigan Association of Recreation Vehicles and Campgrounds. Visit marvac.org for information about recreational vehicles, campgrounds, and everything you need to know to get your family started RVing across Michigan.
I've been around the world, but there's one place I keep coming back to. And the more I explore, the more I realize it's the place to be. I'm Tom Dalton, and this is Under the Radar, Michigan.
Hey there. When was the last time you jumped into an awesome RV and explored the great state of Michigan? Yeah, me either, but I plan to remedy that right now. Come on, fellas, let's go. Nice.
That's right, UTR is going RVing. And there ain't no stopping us now, because recreational vehicles are one of the best ways to have fun with friends and family. Whether you rent it, buy it, or borrow it, RVs come in all shapes and sizes. And they're one of the greatest ways to get up close and personal with the plethora of people, places, and things we have to see here. So hop on, because here we go. On this, our first RV adventure, we decided to head north in search of hijinks and hilarity. And like we always seem to do on these adventures, the first thing we did was, well, get silly.
Wow, you know, this RV is big inside.
Yeah, and spacious. Roomy, too.
You know, we should name it. We name everything else on the show.
Yeah, but what are we gonna name? Wait a minute, I got it.
Steve!
So Tom, Jim, Eric, and their new four-wheeled friend Steve the RV headed up I-75 to find something to share with the UTR audience. And speaking of words that start with shh.
Well, we've been driving by it for years, but we finally decided to stop at Seashell City. Or no. Seashell City. Now, hold on. I gotta go practice this. I'll be back.
Well, you almost heard right. It's Seashell City. Try saying that 3 times fast. And it's been a classic, iconic tourist stop for decades. It's located on the east side of I-75, just a few miles south of the Mackinac Bridge. And if you're looking for the life aquatic, it's high tide here. It's also home to the infamous man-killing giant clam. 500 pounds of man-crushing muscle that I just had to see. Leslie Earle is the pearl inside this incredible collection, and she has more shells to sell than you can shake a shoal at.
We are currently on our first ever RV adventure. And we know nothing about it, but we're fast learners, so we're catching up quick. I used to drive by this place a lot when I was a kid.
Yes, we hear that very often.
Yeah, and we never stopped. And we finally decided after, this is our 8th season, we'd pull in here and see what it's all about, and it's amazing.
Yes, we're interesting. There's a lot of neat things to look at.
You wouldn't happen to have any shells here, would you?
Just a few.
I'm shell-shocked. How many shells do you have?
Oh, I don't know. There's millions of them.
Yeah.
Plus, you haven't seen my shell barn with the inventory that I have.
You have a shell barn?
Yeah, that's dedicated for sea life and shells.
Which brings me to my next question. Thank you for the segue. It's a barn. We're in the middle of the land. What is Seashell City doing here in the middle of the land?
Well, I don't know how the original owner came up with the idea to put it in Michigan, but I'm glad he did, because when we bought it, we've had it 27 years, so But it originally started in Gaylord.
Actually, I'm shocked at how many cool things are in this building. It's not just shells.
No, it's not. It used to be a long time ago when the old owners had it, and I changed it considerably. And I've expanded the inventory a lot to different areas than just shells.
Well, you've got everything aquatic here, and you also have a lot of other really cool things from, I don't know, you've got like wind chimes, and you've got books, and you've got, I mean, everything is here. Everything makes sense, kind of, except for the giant bear. I don't get that, but...
Well, that's our wildlife section on that end. So, you know, I like the bear. I mean, you didn't see my Wolverine?
No, I haven't gotten it. Well, there's so much here. It takes forever to see, but that's what I love about this place is you can wander through here for an hour and still not see half the stuff.
That's true. It takes a long time to go through. This isn't a 5-minute stop.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a while.
It must be a lot of fun owning this place, though, because the people that come through here.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's different, you know, it keeps you going, especially during season when we're really busy.
Is it true you can really hear the ocean if you hold one of these up to your...
People think they can, but it's just your ear canal.
Oh, hold on a second. Hi, honey. No, it's going good. She's really nice. Yeah, okay. Yes, okay, bread, milk, hold on a second. Yes, okay. Okay, bye, sorry.
Okay, now you got to use it the correct way.
What, how's that?
You got to blow into it.
Does that really work?
Yeah. No, you're not going to do it that end, are you?
I don't know how to do it, show me. Does it
No,
really...
I think you have enough wind, you can do it.
Just seriously blow into it?
Blow into it. No, you need more wind than that.
All I have is hot air.
So next time you're driving up or down I-75 and you see a sign that's hard to say, stop at Seashell City. It's a tropical treat in a temperate zone that offers you plenty of shells that you can take home.
Listen, can you help me get her to climb into our RV?
No, it's mine.
Darn it.
Well, Tom, Jim, Eric, and of course Steve the RV headed north up and over the incredible Mackinac Bridge. And I'm telling you, this experience never gets old. And before they knew it, they entered Michigan's beautiful Upper Peninsula. And of course, you remember what they say every time they enter the UP, don't you?
Oh, look, rocky outcroppings.
It's completely different.
Well, at least it was the first time Steve heard it. Now, this is where RVing is a real treat. As long as the captain doesn't have the fasten seatbelt sign on, you're free to carefully move about the cabin and enjoy Steve's many amenities. Oh, and in case I forgot to mention, snacks. Because you know us on UTR, we're all about the snacks. After an excessive amount of extreme snacking, we were in desperate need of something more substantial. So in the town of Brevard, we made a sudden stop for something salty and savory. Since 1978, Gustafson Smoked Fish has been doing just that, smoking Michigan fish to perfection. And speaking of savory, they also have a selection of jerky that would make any land mammal a little bit nervous. Heck, they even have just about everything else you need to survive, thrive, and feel alive in the UP. So with Steve the RV safely in park, we went inside and partook in foraging for some flavorful foods. And I'm telling you, we found plenty, at least enough to get us a few more miles down the road. The folks were friendly, the smoked fish looked amazing. Heck, we even found a mess of awesome UTR alumni products to enjoy.
Oh yeah, Stormy Cromer. Tommy needs a new chapeau. Hey, choppers. Howdy, Jiffy. Ooh, Safeys. Bonus. Oh, bacon.
Well, with our pile of provisions properly packed in paper, we headed out the door and on our merry, soon-to-be snacking way.
Okay, savory snacks?
Check.
Frosty cold beverages?
Check.
Itinerary? Who needs one of those?
Itinerary.
So as we headed further west across the great UP on Highway 2, I know exactly what you're thinking. How the heck do these guys do it?
You know, the word dinner holds great reverence on UTR excursions. You could say it's our mission, our calling. It's even our X-Men power.
AKA, we likes to eat. So with the sun sinking low, we decided just where we needed to go, and that's for a great burger. Since way back in 1949, Clyde's Drive-Ins are where hungry Yoopers go for a bona fide burger. This place is what you'd call the real deal. It's drive-in done right. and it's right on Chippewa Avenue in Manistee. So with our appetites in overdrive, the fellers and I decided to vacate RV Steve, head on in, and put on 3/4 of a pound with the infamous Big C Burger. Oh boy. Mark my words, if you ever manage to make it to Manistee, park your car at Clyde's, because these burgers are a slice of Americana you're gonna wanna. Well, we were quickly running out of day, so we searched for a place to put Steve away, and what we found was an absolute RVer's paradise. Whether you're camping, RVing, or just looking for a place to plop down a picnic, Fayette Historic State Park is absolutely perfect. It's located on Big Bay de Noc on Lake Michigan. It has every amenity the modern RVer needs to, well, RV, and it's also home of the abandoned town of Fayette. From the middle to late 1800s, Fayette was one of the Upper Peninsula's most productive iron smelting operations, and hundreds worked the blast furnaces here. Now it's been turned into a living, breathing historic museum that's a great stop for the whole family. It's an absolutely fascinating place to soak up some awesome Michigan history. Well, enough with history. Time to proceed to the present and park this bad boy. Well, that's right. I'm talking about Steve. There, that was easy. Now it's time to unpack and figure out how everything in this thing works. Well, with both the campsite and sun finally set, our 3 UTR bugs were snug in their rugs, and it was time to turn in, turn out the lights, and get a good night's sleep.
Good night, Jim. Good night, Eric.
Good night, Tom.
Good night, Steve.
In the morning, we saddled up Sir Steve the RV and headed west for UP Parts Unknown. We drove along the coast of Lake Michigan, through Escanaba in the daylight, and onto the southernmost reaches of the UP. This is where we entered a town we've been talking about since season 1 on UTR, and for obvious reasons.
Menominee, ba-ba-da-da. Hey, Menominee, ba-ba-da-bow. Menominee, ba-ba-da-da, ba-da-da, 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 ba-da-da-da-da. Hey!
Menominee is a port city that sits right on the shores of Lake Michigan. It was named after a Native American tribe and holds the distinction of being the southernmost town in the UP. It's at about the same latitude as Gaylord in the Lower Peninsula, and it's so far away, it's even on Central Time. Menominee is also the 4th biggest city in the UP and has a beautiful historic downtown with lots to see and do, so we decided to do just that. After a quick tour of town, we sequestered Steve at the River Park Campground. This is a great place to stay because it's right near town, right on the Menominee River, and even affords spectacular views across the river of that state they call Wisconsin. So with RV Steve tucked safely away, we wandered back into town because, well, you guessed it.
I am absolutely famished. And on UTR, if we can squeeze a little history in with our hunger, we're all the happier.
And that brings us to Menominee's own Berg's Landing restaurant, a place with as much history as they have helpings. It's a landmark in these parts and the chosen place for us to chow. Ron Berg is the man with the same name, and this great restaurant in this historic building is his claim to fame.
Give me a sense of the history of this building.
Well, it was built in 1887, and that's when meat markets were big. They were the only place in town that had refrigeration, so this whole building was a big meat market.
Really?
Yes.
And then it became what after that?
Well, over the years, it's been a number of different businesses. As the meat markets shrank, they put a drugstore in half of it. And then the last business that was here before we bought the building was a city bus garage.
Really?
They actually sold the tickets here and worked on the buses.
Now, what made you decide to by and keep the legacy of this building going?
Well, we wanted to open a restaurant in town, and this was available, and it was available to be a registered historic building.
It must have been one of the first buildings in town.
It wasn't one of the first buildings, but it was actually the first brick building in town. And it's kind of ironic, it was built by a lumber baron. It was the first brick building. I believe it cost $12,000 to build this.
It always blows my mind when I hear what stuff back then cost to make compared to today.
Yes.
Yeah. So you actually, not only do you own the building, not only did you renovate this place, but you're actually one of the people that makes the great food here.
I do, yes.
Yeah, what do you love about being a chef?
You get to be creative, and it's just something I got into when I was really young, and I've always liked doing it. I never really thought about doing anything else. I spent a lot of years working 80-hour weeks, and I always say I could have retired with 40 years after 20.
How would you describe the food here? What's your philosophy?
It's American cuisine, continental. I'd say it has a lot of French influence, but it's a casual, upscale food. We serve all top quality steaks, seafood, we have pastas.
I'm glad you said casual upscale, because this is our RV special, so we're going across this around the state in an RV. So if you see an RV parked out in the parking lot overnight, don't be, it's just us.
Okay.
I hope that's all right.
Well, before we knew it, flocks of hungry diners started landing at Berg's.
I'm glad we got here a little bit early because it's a Wednesday night in Menominee, and this place is filling up fast. You must be doing something right.
Yes, and that's one of our strong points is a lot of restaurants live for the weekend, but we seem to be busy all week here, and we're really grateful for that.
Well, we'll make this a tradition. Every time we do an RV special, we'll stop here, no matter where we go. Maybe a little bit out of our way, but we'll still stop.
If you prefer a place that preserves the past while pleasing your palate, stop by Berg's Landing. It's a smooth and tasty landing you'll want to make. So with full tummies and a full day of fun under our loosened belts, we once again hunker down in RV Steve for another good night's sleep.
Good night, Jim. Good night, Eric.
Good night, Tom.
Good night, Steve.
Good night, guys.
Oh boy. In the morning, we woke renewed and refreshed. Only problem was, the next part of our adventure, we had to drive over the river into and through Wisconsin. And being the Michigan man that I proclaimed to be, the fellers encouraged me to lie down, relax, and nap for a while. That way I could just wake up feeling refreshed at our next location. But before I knew it, things got a little weird.
Whoa. Oh, you guys, I just had the weirdest dream. There were Green Bay Packer fans everywhere. I can still smell the cheese. How weird is that?
I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
Well, after a couple of comfortable hours winding our way through wonderful Wisconsin, it was time to return to marvelous Michigan. So we, along with Steve the RV, made a beeline for, well, a big boat.
If you're looking for a fun, fast, and fascinating way to get across Lake Michigan, the SS Badger is your best bet. Oh, pool boy, I mean Jim, another beverage?
All aboard the SS Badger. It's a 410-foot ship that's the largest ferry ever to sail Lake Michigan. And it's the only coal-fired steamship still operating in the entire United States. On board, you'll find buffets for feeding, lounges for loitering, deck space for sightseeing. Heck, they even offer private staterooms for private statesmen like me. The 4-hour trip takes you from Manitowoc, Wisconsin, straight across to Ludington, Michigan, and saves you hours and hours of driving time around this massive lake. Now, to make sure Jim, Eric, Steve, and I adhere to all relevant maritime rules and regulations, and to get a free visit up to the bridge, I checked in with our capable captain, Mike Martin.
Permission to ask some questions, sir?
Permission granted.
I'm impressed. This is a serious ship.
It is a serious ship.
It's over, what is it, over 400 feet long?
410 feet long.
And what I love about it is it's like a museum that's still being used today.
It is.
Yeah, this was commissioned in when?
1953. Wow. And parts of the ship are still 1953, but we also have some modern stuff too.
That's called charm.
Yeah, charm, ambiance, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. And the fact that, first of all, this pilot house, you've got like almost a 190-degree view up here. It's incredible.
Correct, yep.
Yeah.
We get to look over the entire ship.
So you can look for pirates?
It's helpful for navigating, so we can see who's around us, behind us, in front of us.
Now, when this ship was built, it was built for train cars?
Correct. They carried automobiles too, but the primary function was rail cars and passengers.
Wow. Plus, you guys have our RV on board. Thank you very much.
Yes, you're welcome.
It's our first RV adventure, so we got a little tired of not knowing what we're doing, so we thought we'd come with you because you seem to be very proficient.
Well, thank you. We carry a lot of passenger automobiles, and we carry recreational vehicles like you have, and we also carry quite a few semi-trucks and commercial traffic.
And this is actually still powered by coal.
It is. We have 2 reciprocating steam engines, and to produce the steam, we burn coal.
Now, I understand when we get to Ludington, that little harbor there is very small, and someone said that you guys have been trained to drop anchor and it swings the boat around, or?
Yeah, when we go into Ludington, we go in head first and we spin the ship.
Ramming speed?
We go into safe navigational speed, and we swing at 180 degrees and then back it into the slip, yes.
But you ever get rough seas?
We do on occasion. Lake Michigan in the summertime is pretty stable, so we get a lot of days like this. But in the shoulder season, in the early spring and the late fall, when the weather starts to change, it can get quite bouncy out here.
What's the biggest kick you get out of doing this?
The biggest kick I get out of doing this really is watching the passengers, especially after we tie up and everybody's leaving the ship and they come up to you and they'll say, thank you very much for a wonderful experience.
How long did it take to become a captain?
Well, this is my 20th year with the company, and I was here for 16 years as an officer and then the last 4 as a captain. So
you're a career man.
I guess I'm a career man.
So you must love it.
I do love it.
Okay, last question. Which do you like better, Wisconsin or Michigan?
Oh, I love them both.
So you're a politician too.
After a cool conversation with the captain, we got to climb down, and I mean way down into the engine room and see these huge coal-fired steam engines at work. And speaking of work, the dedicated guys who keep these massive machines moving forward deserve our thanks and respect. It's hot down here, and keeping these fires burning and this colossal ship churning is quite a sight to see and feel. While exploring the ship even further, I took it upon myself to sneak down to the vehicle deck and check out our old pal Steve. Now, this is normally not allowed, but remember, I'm not normal. Oh boy. See you later, Steve! Honestly, this trip was so much fun that even if you don't need to get around the lake, the SS Badger is a mini cruise you might want to take. We had a blast getting on, being on, and even getting off the boat. So with multiple miles and mounds of Michigan memories behind us, Jim, Eric, and I headed for home. As for our newfound friend Steve the RV, well, he made the trip truly special. Thanks, Steve.
You're welcome, Tom.
Bye-bye.
How'd you like to know more about all the great places we visit on the show? It's simple. Just go to our website. You can watch old episodes, use our visitor information guide, tell us where you want us to go next, jump to our Facebook page, and even buy a hat like mine. So just go to utrmichigan.com. That's utrmichigan.com. Nice beach, huh? It's in Michigan.
Support for Under the Radar provided by the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, dedicated to shared economic success. MEDC promotes the state's assets and opportunities that support business investment, job growth, and community vitality.
As we cross a bridge known as the Mighty Mac, we find it. Something the Ojibwa call Gajige. We know it as timeless. A land that says, slow down, listen to my stories, hear my songs. Timeless can be as big as the sunset on a Great Lake, or as endless as the stars that watch over us. Welcome to Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Welcome to the purest of pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
Additional support provided by the Michigan Association of Recreation Vehicles and Campgrounds. Visit marvac.org for information about recreational vehicles, campgrounds, and everything you need to know to get your family started RVing across Michigan.